Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to discuss how we get from here to here. This is actually the wiring of the Dynon servos that we're going to be installing in our Remos GX. So we have two servos. We have a pitch servo and a roll servo. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I went from basically these kind of bare wires coming off the back of the servo to make it look nice and neat with this little kind of wire mesh to kind of capture those cables, and then how we go back installing the DB9 connector. And so the same thing over here, I have the DB9 connector on the wire that will be run inside the airplane. So again, today's video goes from here to here. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Okay, so I think the first thing we should do is talk about the tools of the trade. A couple of things. First of all, we are actually installing these servos on a D100 Dynon. And so their actually wire kit was for their Skyview, but they assured me this is going to work just fine for what we have on our Remos. The Skyview most likely has some kind of a pin diagram for the installation of the servo onto the network. In this case, the Skyview, we're just going to be a couple pins in the back of it, so we don't necessarily need to worry about that. So I came up with my own kind of pin diagram for that. So the Skyview, this is the SV servo kit, and it comes with 20 feet of all the wire you'll ever want. And then it also comes with 3 DB9 connectors. I believe it's one female and 2 males. And in theory, everything inside this little bag is everything you need to wire it up. So we have the cases for the DB9 connectors, the actual DB9 connectors themselves, the pins, and then we also have here some zip ties. And this is kind of the little tool to basically push it into the connector and pop it out. I actually have a better, more improved one, which looks pretty similar. So this kind of shows this. This is just the Dynon SV32 servo, so nothing too exciting. And then on Amazon, I bought this 1/4 inch expandable sleeving, which kind of gives it that kind of nice finished look, if that makes sense. So, and I'm only really putting the expandable sleeving on the servo part. The rest of the stuff in the airplane, we're not going to worry about. So, and then from a tool standpoint, so we're going to basically grab this. We're going to move it to the side real quick. It's from, I believe, the Steinair. I got these pretty cool wire strippers. What's really nice is that it kind of pops it open and cuts it off, and then you can put it back out. I said we've got the tool to both push it in, the pin into the DB9, and to also extract the pin out of the DB9. Actually, it's backwards. Nice pair of wire cutters, and then this is the special crimping tool that you need to basically crimp the DB9 pins into the wire. So that's where we're at right now. We're going to go ahead and put a DB9 connector, the female one on the servo itself. We'll put the male one on here, and we should be good to go. So let's get started, and I think we'll get started by getting the servo wired up first. Awesome. Okie doke. So first things first, I went ahead and cut some of this 1/4 inch expandable sleeving. Based on my experience doing the other servo, it's a lot easier to put it on right now without having the connectors on, and so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I'm also going to go ahead and just put a little bit of shrink tube in here to kind of clean it up. So what I'm going to end up doing is most likely just putting just enough to kind of capture the end there, I would imagine. So we'll go ahead and get that clipped off, and then we'll get it sleeved in here. And this should go over this without too many problems. Perfect. And then we'll grab the sleeve and we'll do the same thing. Now the sleeve, really you have to cut it with a hot knife. So that way it fuses these ends, and then you kind of have to feed the wires in there, which sometimes it's a little easier said than done. So, but it's obviously a lot easier to do right now without a whole bunch of pins on it than to wait till all the pins are on and then it becomes a bit of a chore, to be full disclosure. So we'll go ahead and get that in. Hopefully it all fits in there. Yeah, so voila. We'll kind of sleeve it in. Now in a perfect world, the heat shrink will actually go all the way over this. This will go to here. And right now we just gotta get it to poke out the other end. It's gonna be a little bit difficult just because we melted it, so. And then this, in theory, goes all the way to here. And we slide this over the top. And then we will get a heat gun out momentarily to sort that out. Okay, so that's that. And while we're at it, we might as well stick the other heat shrink tubing on. That way we don't have to mess with it later on down the road. Same deal in here. Okay, voila. So the next step is we're going to basically go ahead and cut the ends off of here. And one thing we can do with this, give us up a little bit more room. This sleeve does expand if you need it to, so we can very easily just do this if you want to, so we don't have to work with the wires. So now the next trick is we got to get these wires all stripped enough so they will fit into our female DB9 pins. So we got these kind of a set of really nice wire strippers. So, and I said what's really nice is once you get it sorted, is that you can just kind of stick it in there. And these are 22 gauge, and just have enough of it showing where you need it. And open, let go. And voila, look at that, very nice. So we'll do that for every single one of these guys. But yeah, this wire stripper is amazing. Not cheap, of course, because hey, what stuff for airplanes is cheap after all, right? But to me, well worth the money. It's nice having good tools, for sure. Now, does my wife agree with me on that? Some questions are better left unasked. Okay, so at this point in time, we have all the wires stripped. We're good to go. We have our female DB9 connectors over here, so we're good to go on that. We have our female DB9 plug right here. So this is the female. Hopefully you can see that. And then this is the male. And the male and female really pretty much dictates the kind of plug that goes in. These has the pins. These have the place where the pins go into. So we'll be doing the female on the servo. So we don't quite have all nine of these, so we'll actually have some spares, which is fine. And then open this up, got some pins. And this thing works pretty slick. So basically what you want to do is you want to grab your wire, grab your pin. Now you will never see it because of this camera, but there's actually a witness hole on the pin that proves that the actual wire has gone in far enough. So it's really, really hard to tell, but there is one in there. So, and it's basically in this last band of gold. And this guy basically just works really slick. Grab it, pump it all the way in, and let go. Doesn't require an inordinate amount of force. Double check it, and then you grab the next one. Do the same thing. And last but not least, The older I get, the more I start wondering if I should own one of those magnifying glass with a built-in light, especially when I'm working on stuff this small. And voila. So now we've got all the pins done. I said, kind of give them a tug, make sure they're good, that they're not going to go anywhere. So we got that. And then really at that point in time, it's just a question of inserting them into our DB9 connector. I'm going to go grab my iPad where I actually have a little chart that I came up with. Okay, so on the female end, pin 1 is at this end. And so I kept kind of all the stuff that's going to have power related stuff. So we're going to have red and black, which is positive and minus, and the yellow, which is the disconnect switch. And then on this side, we're going to have all the network ones, the white, green, white, blue, and then basically the green and blue. So just to kind of keep the network info away from the power info. And so we will start on pin 1. Again, I'm going to pull this back a little bit, just give myself a little extra room. And pin 1 goes into position number 1, which is right here. So you kind of hear it click. So the next one will be the black. And the last one would be the yellow. And I guess I should push it over here so you're not looking at the back of my hands. Okay. And then past that, we're going to go green on the number 4. At least white green on the number 4. And white blue on the number 5. So first white green on here. White blue on here. And then we're actually going to have the same colors directly underneath it. We'll have green first. And blue next. Okay. Okay, so before we get too carried away, we're going to go ahead and just get the shrink tubing sorted. So we got to set on a fairly low heat. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's ready to rock. So now next step is to get this put in here. Do not snap these together until you're ready. Don't ask me how I know, but basically I do know. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put the guy in here. And he fits very nicely at the front here. We've got the strain relief right here. So before we put that in there, we're going to put our buddies right here in where they belong. If you don't do it now, it's a bit of a pain to get this whole thing apart later. Again, don't ask me how I know. And then this guy goes in here. we get to flip this guy around and put some screws in it. So if you turn this around, put the screws in it. There's one, there's two. Okay. Good connection. We're good over here. So life is good. Actually, it looked like this guy slid a little bit. Oops. No worries. Get him back in. There it goes. Okay, and actually looks like that didn't quite shrink all the way. So we'll give that a quick go. Okie doke. So now, voila, the servo is ready to go. It's got the end on it, so and it's in good shape. So the next thing is we're going to add the male end of the DB9 at the end of the cable. That way, once we get to the airplane, we can just have it all said and done and not be fiddling about this with it at the hangar. So we'll get that one done next. Okay, awesome. Okay, so same program on this guy right here. So we're gonna go ahead and strip these wires. I think we're gonna get rid of a couple of these little zip ties to give us a little bit more room to work with. So there it goes. Okay, we'll grab our wire strippers and strip them all out. And I think in the end, I'm just gonna go ahead and just wire the future cables here for the whatever perceived Dynon expansion that ever happens in the future. So okay, here we go. So same program as last time. Now this guy here, you have to be kind of careful because it's actually backwards. So it's actually on the other plug, as we were putting them in, the one was over here. Well, the one on the male plug is on this end, so which kind of makes sense. So if the one's over here, then the other one needs to be over here. So kind of keep that in mind. So we'll grab our iPad one more time. Make sure even though I pretty well know what it is red, black, yellow one side, and then it is green, blue on the other. So we're gonna go ahead and, I guess before we get too carried away with that, we can just go ahead and get these pins put in. So these pins also have little witness holes. Really hard to tell, but there's one right there. And so we'll go ahead and do it. Same as the other one, pretty much. Okay, and then so before, kind of make sure we kind of give each one a decent pull. Make sure it's not going to come off. Okay, great. So then I said, these are backwards. One is this end. And going back with our handy dandy chart, it is red, black, and actually this is a great example to now show you how to use the other side of this tool to take these wires apart. Okay, let's see how this works. So we're going to go ahead and use our extraction tool because I put it in before I put the shrink tube on, so to provide strain relief. So this basically, there's a train here that this basically goes in. This actually has a little bit of a groove too. And the theory is you put it in the tray and work your way up. And eventually it ends up with that wire inside the guy right there. Now, this is a brand new tool, so I'm sure it's a little stiff because of that. And then you're supposed to be able to just kind of work your way in here, put a friend here in the hole. Then as you go in there, you hear a little click. And the theory is, you should be able to grab it there, pull it, and there it is. Voila. That's the French saying. Okay, we've got the amp. Now we'll get our piece of shrink tubing. Okay, all the wires are in. Back to what we were saying before. One is at this end. So we have red, black, and yellow. So we're gonna actually just go ahead and stick them all at the same time. Or maybe not, at least the red and the black will go in at the same time. So red, black, yellow underneath. So the reason I say that is because on this particular box cover, you actually don't need these pins. So, because those pins are for the other side of the equation. We will want to grab our shrink tubing, bring it up, figure out where this is going to go in relationship to everything, so we can get them where we want them. So it looks like right around there would be good. Grab the heat gun, heat it up real quick. Voila for that. And then this goes back, this goes in here. Okay, and then we go this in here. Make sure it fits correctly. Pop that in there. Looks good. I'm going to grab my strain relief guy here, put him in. I'm going to close this, our friend over here. I said we don't need those screw guys. Click. Then we'll go ahead and put the screws in here. And finish this up. And voila. Good. Strain relief is on. This cable's done. And life is good. So yeah, okay, so next step really is going out to the airplane and figuring out how to get all this stuff installed. So awesome. Okay, so I think we'll stop this video right now. That's pretty much as much as we can do here. So we will transition from Mo's garage, or maybe is this Kathy's kitchen, I'm not sure, over to the hangar. But in the meantime, yeah, if you liked it, and enjoy this content, please give me a big thumbs up down below. And if you would like to see similar content, please go ahead and subscribe. As I said, next time becomes the fun stuff of actually doing the installation. So awesome. This video, hit subscribe and give us a big like down below. Thanks for watching.